What's up, queerdos, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Helena Poison from Canada's Drag Race Season 5, and today I thought that I would mash up two of the most iconic redheads. We've got CHAPPELL, our diva of the moment, with a little bit of CHUCKY, the killer doll. So I thought that I would mash them together and create this CHUCKY ROAN makeup tutorial. If you want to see how I did this look, then you should keep on watching. Don't think too much, just sip some poison. Okay, so we are doing a CHUCKY and CHAPPELL mashup today. Two iconic redheads in one look. I have made a face chart again. I know, professional. So we've got our nice little face chart here with some reference photos. So for this makeup, it's going to be a full white face. So I think that we should start with the eyes and the brows, because that way our foundation will stay nice and white. We don't have to worry about any fallout. Okay, so we're gonna start with the CHAPPELL side of the face, which is gonna be the left side of our face, because all of CHUCKY's scars and the ripped up part of his face is on the right hand side of his face. So we are going to start with the CHAPPELL side, and I'm going to start by carving out this kind of eye area here. Now she has a very straight brow, like there's not really an arch to it. It's very straight, very angular. So I'm gonna try and give us a guideline here in concealer first, and then we're just gonna fill in the eyelid, which will act as our eyeshadow base. So I'm gonna start kind of like there. So now I'm just gonna take a little bit of my deeper contour color because it's a little bit more red. I'm gonna use this to kind of start to draw the eyebrow here. So I'm gonna start, our eyebrows come in not super close, but a little bit, she kind of brings them like down a little bit and straight up and out like that from the photo reference I'm looking at. Obviously, CHAPPELL does a lot of different makeups. Her makeup artist is fabulous, and she likes to have a lot of fun. But in this reference photo that I'm using here, she has a very like kind of thick, very angled, kind of Spocky eyebrow, and it comes down quite far. Something kind of like that. And then I am going to, then I've got this little palette of like oranges and browns. I'm kind of going into this color at the bottom here. Just pat that over top. And then I'm gonna take some of the darker color next to it. Just deep it up a little bit. And we can like carve and shape that when we're doing the rest of the makeup later. I just wanted it as a starting point here. And then for the CHAPPELL makeup, I've chosen kind of like to do this like periwinkle blue eye with the very like bedroom eye winged eyeliner, very 60s, very drag. So we're gonna go into our Blue Moon palette from ColourPop, and I think I'm gonna play in like these two colors here, this more periwinkle one and this kind of like softer sky blue. Thing about CHAPPELL's makeup is it's all very like, I always find it very like watercolory. Like everything like fades and blends nicely into each other without too many like harsh lines outside of like the eyeliner. So we'll start out with just a haze, this blue, and then we'll go into a more periwinkle color, blend it onto the lid up, and a little bit of that as well. And then I'm gonna go into the light iridescent white color. Just gonna hit the inner corner, and we're also gonna hit on the brow bone here to give it some shimmer and shine and also help fade all of that blending together. Like that. Keeping it pretty simple with the eyeshadow. So now I'm going to take a little shader brush and I'm going to dip into the dark blue in this palette. I want to kind of do this cut crease moment. So it's a very drag cut crease, going from the bridge of the nose into almost up into the eyebrow. And that really down turns. So instead of going up and out like I normally would, we're going kind of down and out. Very like Sophia Loren style. Very 60s, almost like Liz Taylor and Cleopatra kind of vibe. Like that. And then we'll just bring it under the eye, right into under the eye as well. And we'll reinforce this with eyeliner after. We're just gonna do the shadow part first. Kind of like that. And then I think I want to do just a touch of glitter. So we're going to take this blue glitter from Vanny Cosmetics. We're just going to take some of that on our finger and just right in the center of the eyelid here, because CHAPPELL is a drag queen and we need drag. Just on the lid part, we're going to do some glitter there. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so we've got some blue done there. Now on the other eye is our Chucky ripped up kind of eye. So what I want to do first is I'm going to take a bit of lip liner and I'm just going to trace out the shape that is missing from his face, because it kind of goes all around his eye a little bit. So it comes in here and then it kind of goes in and then up and out through the brow bone like that a little bit, and then back down, because remember this is from when he got sliced up in one of the movies. They like threw him into like a paper shredder type thing. So his face is all like sliced up and he's got to get stapled back together, kind of creating, almost kind of looks like a weird like Gene Simmons makeup a little bit. Down here, under, now obviously stitches and lines like this come around after, but this whole part that we're tracing out here is going to get filled in to give like a muscly, gross effect. So for that, I'm going to take Big Top from Trixie Cosmetics. We are going to fill in this whole area here, red. We've got that all filled in with red. We're going to go to our favorite Halloween palette, I guess this year, Tainted from Jolie Cosmetics. Need a little brush for red. Right now I'm going to go and play kind of in these colors here to do some shading. So let's go in with Secrets, or deeper color. Just going to kind of do a bit of shading around all of these edges to help give them depth, to sell this illusion that it is skin or rubber torn away. Take some of the bright red, put that on our eyelid. Just generally just pat a bunch of different reds in there and make it look gross. And then maybe we'll even go in with a little bit of black on a shade brush and just go into some of these parts here. My battery's guy. So basically just play with it until you get the depth that you like. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to foundation. And if you watched my last Chappell ROAN makeup, you know that I hated the white foundation I used. So I've bought a new one. We've got MAC Full Coverage in pure white. It is a pro item, only available at MAC Pro stores, or you might be able to get this one online. I know Shivering White is only available at Pro. Anyways, so we are going to give, I've never tried this, so we are giving it a first try. Let's hope it works, because it was expensive to go in and do this. All right, well, so far what I bought it for, it works really well, which is just a nice white highlight. I think I'm gonna try scooping it out. This kind of a vibe over the beard area, which I did off camera, in case you didn't notice why my bottom of my face was all weird. Now Chappell just kind of does just her face white, and then the rest is skin color. So we just wanna go to the edges of our face. And then for around the brows and this area, I'm actually going to switch out to a brush. But so far I really like this foundation. It's got good coverage. It's not really showing my beard through anything or pulling up any of my beard cover. So far so good. Grab a bit of that white on a little brush. And then go in between these areas. And this will allow you to sharpen everything up as well. That and go in and shape up this brow on top as well. All right, now that we're all white, I'm going to set my face. So we are going to set my face with some Ben Nye Super White, which is a white toned powder. Not translucent that leaves a white cast. It actually is white colored powder. So it'll help reinforce the solid white base. And we're using, and like you can also use translucent powder. I'm just using this because I have it and it does a bit of a better job. But one thing about the MAC Full Coverage foundation I've noticed is, well, I knew beforehand, is that it's a very oily foundation, which is why it's so waterproof, but also you do really need to set it down with powder. Whereas like most liquids or water-based foundations will kind of self-set, this one will stay wet. So you really want to set it. Don't worry if you go over some of your eyeshadow or your brow. You can always bump it back up. Just make sure the foundation is white and set. We'll dust away any excess here. I'm actually gonna just swirl my brush in the excess here. Okay, and then at this phase, I'm gonna go through and foundation my neck with my normal foundation color. I'm just gonna bring it up kind of where I would normally contour a little bit, just to help shape my face a little bit. And then we'll just take our regular setting powder and set that really quick. Alright, so now we're going to move on to like blush and contouring. So I've got two different blushes I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Flamingo blush from ColourPop Cosmetics, and I'm also going to use the Buttermelt blush in shade 1, my Butta Half, which is the hot bubblegum pink. We're going to start with the Flamingo one because it's a little lighter. And we're gonna use this as our blush, but also as our contour. So we wanna keep the blush really high on the cheek and a little bit around the hairliner, because she kind of uses the blush as a contour as well. And we're also gonna hit our nose from the inner corner a bit, on the side. That. And then to add some dimension and bump it up, we're gonna go in with the brighter pink. I'm just gonna use the tip of the brush and use it to give us like a really nice like contoured moment. And then the blush looks a little bit more watercolory. I'm keeping it really back by the eyeshadow, coming forward a little bit, the temples here, little like that. Okay, and then I also got this, the MAC Shivering White Studio Fix Powder. So it's a pure white full coverage powder foundation, and we are going to use some of this kind of like under the eye and in the center points, just to make sure we are really stark white in the center. We can also shape our nose a little bit with it. So I didn't want to set the face with this because it's very like, it's a heavier powder and it would really stick to the oil and then it would look really cakey. Just go over the whole center, go under our little brow bones, hit the chin as well. Basically anywhere you want a little bit more coverage of that solid white, like that there. Just buff out a little bit. Looking great, looking fab. All right, let's go back to the Chucky eye because I want to add a bit of this blue and our eyebrow in there as well. So going back into our blue, I'm just gonna add some hazes where the eyeshadow would have been before she got chopped up, you know? You can think of this two ways. You can either think of it as a Chappell Roan doll getting chopped up or Chucky dressing up for Halloween as Chappell Roan. Whatever your fantasy is. I love both of them. I'm just gonna add some haze like that. So let's just sketch in our little brow here. I don't want it to be as even because there's been stitched back together, right? A little bit more distorted. Yeah, see how this one goes a little bit wonkier? It'll look better once we get into the stitches and lines of it all. It's not that dramatic, but I think it's doing the thing I want it to do. Okay, and then while we're here, let's add a bit of highlight to the cheeks as well. We're gonna use Cold Shoulder from Trixie Cosmetics and our finger. Add a bit of shimmer to the cheeks. Do the brow bone on the nose, still making it glam. And then before the lips, I think I want to go in and do all of the eyeliner work and then do the lips last because the lips are bright red and if I smudge them while doing the eyeliner, everything is toast. So we're gonna leave the lips to last and we're gonna do some doodling with eyeliner. Okay, so to start off, finishing up our stitches here, I'm gonna take some more of Big Top by Trixie Cosmetics, the Play Pigment, and we are going to do some of our stitch lines in the red. And this brush has a bit of black on it, so it's gonna create that perfect gross blood color for us. Now the first stitch closest to the eyebrow kind of comes up over across the forehead a bit like that, okay? Now obviously you can do whatever you want. If you do a bunch of stitches on your face like this and wear red hair, people are gonna know you're Chucky, but I love to do it a little bit more to look like the actual rips in the doll. The second one kind of just comes up a little bit through the eyebrow like this, and the one on the outside here comes up around like this, and then also up. I'm not going too far because my wig is gonna sit like right there. Oh, I missed a point. So I have one that comes straight out like that. This one comes down a little bit thicker top, a little bit more open. Kind of comes down the outside of the face and down to jaw like that. And the nice stuff about the Play Pigments is that this will just dry on your face, which is good. And then they have one that kind of comes out of the middle. This one isn't as much of a red line though. And this one's gonna come down and across the lip and it comes down. That's our basic layout for the Chucky scars. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our liquid pen eyeliner, the Epic Ink Liner from NYX Cosmetics. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to outline everything. So I'm gonna outline just inside of all of that red we did, which is gonna help make it really defined, but also give it that little bit of shadow, that motion. And then on some of the finer lines, I'm just going over with the black. And then a lot of these are either stitched or stapled together. So we're gonna do two types of things. We're gonna do, some have stitches and some have staples. So I think we're gonna do some little stitches over top of the skinnier lines. And then there's a few places he has staples, like on the side of his head. So for staples, we're gonna just do like little rectangles in the black, like that. Where's the ends? Do one right through the eyebrow here, actually. I'm taking a bit of a creative liberty. A lot of this is a creative liberty, let's be real. Do one there, do one up here. It's got a few right here as well. And then all down this one is just stitches. And they don't have to be evenly spaced apart. It's actually better if they don't, because his is like very haphazardly done, kind of like that. And then anywhere we did staples, we're gonna take our white liquid eyeliner, make sure there's not a huge glob of white on there, and then we're just gonna do from one side a little highlight in the middle. And that kind of makes them look like little shiny staples without having to glue anything extra to your face. Because the white kind of takes on a bit of a gray tone and they end up just looking like staples. Okay, and then on our Chappell ROAN eye, we're gonna do our glam eyeliner. So I'm gonna start by tracing out her little crease. And then she has a very like cat eye liner. It's very winged, it's very angled. So it's like a very like point on the side here. I would bring it pretty far in and take it back over like that. And we'll bring it right across the eyelid like that, out into a wing. Follows the kind of shape that we created with the blue eyeshadow earlier. And then you want to join it to under the eye. Oh wow, that bled everywhere. Okay, maybe don't use that eyeliner. Okay, I think I fixed it. So yeah, we're gonna be using gel liner for this around the eyes. So now we're gonna do, on this eye, I just wanna kind of line the eye with a bit of black. Just around the lashes, doesn't be too pretty, just darken around the eye. Now this eye, I put it in the waterline. This eye, I think we're actually gonna do white in the waterline to try and make the eye look bigger, because this eye is supposed to have not as much eyelid left anymore. And it just adds to the creepiness of everything. So we're gonna take a bit of white gel eyeliner, pop that in there so our eye looks weirder and bigger. Great. Now I want to move on to the lips. So I'm going to try and rub off any white from my lips a little bit. Now Chappell's lip, it's got a pretty pronounced little cupid's bow, so very like heart-shaped almost. And then she kind of comes down, it's not very round. Kind of like that. Now, because we have a stitch line coming through the lip, I want to kind of shift it a bit. So it kind of stops there, and then, so we're going to kind of make this lip come out, and then that one go in a little bit. So it looks a little disjointed, and same on the bottom. So like here, we'll end it there, and then we'll start it down here on the other side. And I'm just filling it in a little bit with the lip liner. Not crazy, because we're going to go over it with lipstick. I mean, like always, we want to shade it a little bit when we're over drawing. This isn't something everyone has to do, but I'd like to do it. I'm just gonna take a bit of, this dark purple and see what that does. Yeah, we'll take a bit of this dark brown and just go a little bit, just to give it a bit of shading. Then we're gonna go in with Red Scare from Trixie Cosmetics. And if it turns a little pink on you, you can always take a red eyeshadow and just pat it over top, which is what I'm going to do. That's why you want to try and get all of the white eyeshadow off before you do this. I would say anytime you're doing like a bold lip color, try and get your foundation off before you put on the lipstick. All right, now I'm gonna take, well, let's take a different pen eyeliner. This one's from Club. It's Korean, but it's got a really fine tip on it, so we're gonna outline our lip with this. So we'll just make it nice and clean while still defining our lip. And then with this, we can draw in the rest of our stitches, like that. And now what I want to do is go in with my white liquid liner and just kind of reinforce some spots around these stitches to kind of help sell this illusion. It's very subtle, the like shift in lip there, but I like it. So I'm basically doing most of the highlights I normally would do. Yeah, it's very subtle, but it just helps bring out the dimensions a little more. Kind of making it look like there's like an edge of skin there. Okay. And then I also want to go in and add a few little red hair strokes to the brows and actually go in and create like your crease line in here as well. If you look closely, he actually has like little muscle tendons inside here. So like I like to go in and draw some little like lines and things in there. Look a little gross and nasty. Oh, we're gonna draw some little bottom eyelashes on this eye. She's very like spidery bottom eyelashes. Okay, so this is pretty much it for the makeup part. I'm gonna go put on some contacts and lashes and a look, and I'll be back to show you the final look. Oh my gosh, and here is the finished look. So I've got my Chapel Roan hair on. We've got my bloody knife. We've got some drag jewels. We've got our Good Guys doll with a sparkly pink bra. I think we did it. I think we matched up two iconic redheads. This is my Chucky ROAN makeup. What do we think? Do we love it? Do we love it? Let me know in the comments. Give this video a like if you liked it. And yeah, let me know. Did this inspire you to do something fun for Halloween? Are you gonna be Chapel Roan? Are you gonna be Chucky? Are you gonna be Chucky Roan? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a fabulous, happy Halloween. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Saving your soul.
Hold on the line for poison control.
Poison. Don't think too much, just sip some poison. From now on.